technology, new media are all bringing about a profound change in our society.
It's really the underlying experience when using digital media that is perhaps most profound. While social media can simply be a tool for delivering content, it's also transforming the way that people interact, the way they create, and the way that they learn.
Unfortunately, in most schools, in most classrooms, kids power down as they come through the doorway. And so what we wanted to know is, what is it that educational leaders should be doing to enable a more collaborative and participatory culture within schools?
It's the need for innovation in what are really 19th and 20th century institutions that has led us to fund these organizations and to bring this panel together today.
We are at, I think, really a transformational moment, potentially, in the context of education in this country, and specifically in the context of bringing this digital media revolution that our kids are living 24/7 every day into classrooms and homes around the country.
Many of these most powerful tools, particularly social networking and particularly chat functions, are banned by schools.
This is not about replacement of the old with the new. This is about the blending of the old with the new. This isn't about no more books and only social networks, no more writing and only texting. This is about the convergence of old skills and old literacy, historic, time-tested skills and new skills for the 21st century.
As far as computers go, that's one way and that's one path to make it, and I have taken that path and kind of manipulated it into something that fit more me, which is film.
Because of some of the work and some of the investment we've had from the folks at MacArthur, some of the work that you're going to hear about from Sharon and Keith, but most of all because of the work that folks like Nicole do with Terrence and other kids around the country, we have the chance to change classrooms and homes and the way kids learn in this country, and it's about time.
If we believe that ubiquity of computing is going to happen and all kids in their lifetime will have access to technology, then how do we think about preparing them to make use of that technology? And how do we think about the partnerships between school and after school settings?
And I feel like with the technology and the digital network program, it helped a lot of kids, and they had that support that they didn't get at home.
I have this slogan that I like to use: a rose doesn't grow from concrete. And kids like Terrence, and it doesn't just happen. You have to have in place structures and supports that make it easy for them to have access to resources and people. There are places all over where there's access to computers and technology. First of all, as a kid, you have to find that access or wait for it to come to you. It came to me, but I probably would have found it if it didn't come to me, And I'm lucky that it came to me because, it saved me some time.
If your school's not on a wave of technology, then that's what you should be in your principal's face about, in your school board's face about, in the mayor, governor's face about, getting the technology in your school so your child can be ahead of the curve. And today we know it's not even ahead anymore, it's just at least part of the pack. Quite frankly, the real challenge is to make sure that every kid in the United States is, as Terrence began to be, digitally literate by the time they finish 8th grade. You cannot talk about a literate workforce for the 21st century if you do not talk about digital literacy. All the jobs in the district area are centered on IT. If we're not teaching our kids at least how to operate and function in the IT world, we're doing them a disservice by saying they've got an education, because they don't. You can't walk out the door anymore and just get a job. You've got to have some computer background.
It's our belief that we're in the midst of a significant change in the way young people learn, and thus we should have an informed dialogue about how best to exploit the capabilities of digital media while mitigating its risks. If you're sitting out there thinking about what are the implications for public policy, part of it is not just bringing our kids along and bringing our schools and classrooms along so that they're 21st century ready, but it's really bringing us parents along and the educators and teachers around the country along. Because you need that if you're going to be an effective teacher today, and quite frankly, you need that basic level of literacy if you're going to be an effective parent, whether you like it or not. The parent's role is primary, and number one, learning what things your kids are up to. If you don't know what your kids are doing, you're already behind the 8 ball.
Today's world continues to be transformed daily by technology. It demands that every teacher across grades and content areas know how to bring together rich content, literacy skills specific to that content, and the many new media tools available to enhance learning.
Most teachers, and I think definitely the Common Sense media surveys will show, are very willing to use technology, but the stress placed on them to figure out where it's placed into their content makes it difficult.
For this reason, the National Writing Project strongly supports policies that require school districts to make significant investments in professional development and the time and space for teachers and administrators to work together to plan for improvements in educational experiences for young people.
Simply giving access to digital media is not the answer. Professional development must help support teachers working with digital media. Without it, computers will sleep in classrooms and break, wireless routers will be forgotten and no one will know how to use them, and online tools will not be utilized. In this era, it is imperative that teachers learn the technology because our students are using it, as we've seen today. They are of the digital era.
Professional development needs to be content-rich and discipline-specific so that science, history, mathematics, and English teachers use the knowledge of their discipline in these new digital environments.
Every year, I have implemented projects using technology, such as digital storytelling, to engage students and enhance their achievement. However, without the high-quality professional development as the writing project provides, I would not have been able to implement digital storytelling in such a successful manner.
What we will need to do in this work is understand how we can provide deep and sustained professional development that will let our current teaching force re-envision their teaching for the 21st century so that all students can be the writers, the designers, the producers of content that digital media makes possible, as well as the traditional consumers of information.
As Julia said, new media practices are new. Educators need time to participate in new media as learners themselves. This base of experience will allow them to invent learning applications that are right for their students and for the local learning goals.
The norms have not settled, nor has the learning potential been fully explored. But we do know that young people are connecting online in unprecedented ways, seeking out their own learning opportunities, and maintaining a rich, though sometimes loosely woven, fabric of friends, peers, mentors, experts, and even teachers.
And I would say it's very simple. It's about the economic future of this country. It's about the educational future of this country. And if you put those together, it's really about your and my future, and most of all, Terrence and his compatriots' future, because they represent where we're all going to have to be in the years ahead. So when we talk about digital literacy, to quote the guy who's now the resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, our time has come.